Hi there, welcome to this video. I am Natasha, and first off I'd like to welcome my new subscribers. Thanks for joining, and I hope your time on my channel is time well spent. Today I'm going to do a solution to your problem reading, and I will have 4 andaras laid out for you to choose from. This reading will comprehend not specifically your problem. I will not go into that, but I will go into the actions, what you should do, what you should not do, external factors that will help you and external factors that will challenge you, and I will go into the resources that you need and the probable outcome of this reading. So let me introduce you to the andaras of the readings that you can choose from. First andara, we have the amber andara, the second one is the blue andara, the third one is the black andara, and the fourth one is the red andara. If you're interested in these andaras, you can find the link to the website for the person who sells these in the description box below. It is Elemental Ascension, and she's a good friend of mine, and she has amazing andaras for sale. So if you're interested, be sure to check out her website. And for the readings, these are the oracles I will use. I will use only one tarot deck this time, and I will use the oracle Whispers of Nature. I believe that is the correct translation. And I will go into the reading now. So I will be preparing the amber andara, Okay, these are your cards for your amber andara choice, the first choice, and let's turn over the cards and I will explain what is what. Alright, let me explain what is what here. These 2 cards are what you should do to resolve your problem. This is what you should not do. These cards is what will help you, either an external situation, or in this case it looks like to be an action. And this will be what challenges you, or maybe even more advice on what not to do. These cards are about the resources that you need, or further actions you should or should not take. And this card will be the outcome of the situation when you've done everything that this reading advises to you. So let me begin with what to do. We find the 2 of Cups, and we find the card that tells you to give support. Now this is very obvious. This is about supporting your love relationship, being supportive to your partner, making sure that you're both on the same page, that you are both looking at the same horizon, the same goals, and support each other while getting there. This is very important. It looks like a resources in resolving this issue, because your partner can be tremendous support, and you can of course be a tremendous support for your partner in this situation. Now, what not to do is to be defensive while it is obvious that the majority of the people around you or the circumstances tell you that you should go about things in a different way. So this means not being stubborn. Don't be stubborn. Don't go against the advice that people give you. So maybe you need to listen to your partner, listen to the people in your environment, and don't be headstrong when it comes to trying to defend your own ideas and visions. Maybe in this case, the people around you are right in their vision. They may have a more objective view to your situation than you yourself have, and therefore they can be able to see things that you might miss when it comes to this situation. Now, what will help in this situation? It seems to me that there is some emotional attachment going on that maybe even spur you to want to do this, but in effect this is quite the opposite of this. This is holding your ground, defending your position, defending your point of view and your motivations, and this one is telling you to let go, especially because it's a cup card, especially let go of your emotional attachment to this situation. Leave your emotions behind, because they're probably tainted by a not so clear view of the situation. Now, the challenge is not to rush into things, not to go forward without thinking things through, not trying to go too fast in an attempt to resolve this situation. Sometimes things need some time to ripen. Sometimes things need to follow their own time span, I'd like to say, in order to resolve on their own. So this card is very much about mental aggression, going into it, being very determined to use your mind to resolve things and to do it very methodical and quickly, and maybe even rash and without proper preparation or thinking things through. So it appears to me that you can rely on your partner, or you should be the supporting partner in your relationship. Try not to be too stubborn. Try not to rush into things and think, I'm going to solve this situation. If everybody does what I want them to do, things will be alright. That is not the way to go. You need to leave behind your emotional attachment to this situation. Try to see if you can detach yourself in this situation. And we find the resources that you need. First, let me address this card, because this card is about taking a break. So this is about not doing this, but letting things take their course, trying to retract yourself a bit, at least emotionally, from this situation, to take a break, to let your thoughts ripen, to let your emotions flow away, in order to gain a more clear perspective on the situation. And then we find the Princess of Wands, and the Princess of Wands is very energetic. She's also very creative, and I think that is the solution to this situation. Try to approach it in a creative way, and in order to get to this point where you can use your energy in a creative way, you will need to take a break. You know, with creativity, it is like being pregnant. You may have an idea or an inspiration, but then it needs to ripen. It needs time to develop, either in your mind, in your heart, to develop into a more concrete idea. So that means that you do need to take a break. You need to refrain from trying to jump into this from a rational point of view and say, you know, it's logical, if you would just do this or that, if I would do just this or that, that would solve the entire problem. That is not the way to go about it, because there are probably consequences and complications that you missed. Also, not be headstrong, not force your own solution onto the situation, but let your thoughts ripen. That's quite contrary from this card. Let your thoughts ripen and let your emotions flow like a overflowing cup. Sometimes problems can cause you to have very strong and overflowing and overwhelming emotions. So if you can take a break, you can let these emotions calm down and let the excess emotions flow out, maybe by crying or yelling into the storm or something like that, punching a pillow, whatever needed to get rid of the excess emotional baggage. And then you're much easier able to detach yourself emotionally from this situation. So take a break and let any creative inspiration and ideas ripen without the mental approach to solve something from a logical standpoint, and also being able to detach emotionally and to let the excess emotions flow out. Now the result, it seems quite dramatic. This is a very dramatic depiction of the result of the issue, but to me you could also see this person as the problem. So all the advice that you just heard might lead to the end of your problems, the end or the solution of your problems, just by refraining from pushing your ideas, from rushing into things headlong from a logical standpoint, being supportive to your partner and let your partner be supportive to you. Detach yourself emotionally. Take a rest, take a break, and try to develop your creative energies and flows to address this situation. And this alone, these three cards alone, will solve your situation possibly even for 90%. This is probably the biggest culprit in your situation. So if you can follow the advice given in these cards, that will most likely already majorly relieve the issue for you. And all you then need to do is take a break, calm your heart, calm your mind, and use your energy in a creative way, and then that will definitely solve your problem. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you liked this video, please leave a like, share and comment. You can also become a patron and get access to exclusive Facebook group and exclusive material and a discount on my personal readings. For a personal reading, you can contact me. My email address is in the description box below. If you don't want that but like to see more of my videos, you can subscribe and click the bell icon to get notified whenever I upload a new video. I wish you an amazing day. Be blessed. Bye. So this is for you who've chosen the blue andara. I will prepare your reading. So these are the cards for the solution to your problem. As I said before, I will not go into the details of your problem. I will only discuss the ways to a solution to your problem. I'll turn over the cards and then I will explain what is what. Okay, let me begin. These two cards are about advice what you should be doing to help resolve your problem, and this is what you should not do. This is the card that will help you to resolve the problem, and this is what will challenge you to help resolve the problem. These are external circumstances usually, but I'm not sure. This seems to be a way of conduct. This will be the resources that you need in order to solve this problem, and this will be the end result. Now, if we begin with the first two cards, what to do, these cards are quite clear to me. This is the card of intuition, and the Four of Wands is usually about preparations before a celebration or party. Can sometimes refer to a marriage, but usually it is a preparation for upcoming bounty or abundance. Now, these two cards together tell me that you should use your intuition to prepare yourself and your circumstances to be able to receive the bounty. So it is like setting the table before a meal. So you cannot expect to be able to eat a meal if you don't set the table first. So use your intuition to see what you need to do in order to prepare the situation or to prepare yourself to be able to receive the upcoming abundance. There is probably a question about abundance because this is very clear about preparing to receive it. Now, what you should not do is overwork yourself. You should not get lost in activities of yourself without getting proper returns for it. So sometimes, usually I find that the Eight of Pentacles is something that you should always be doing. But in this case, you're strongly advised not to give too much, not to work too much. Probably in order to prevent yourself from burning out. So this tells me to take it slow. Do not overwork yourself. Do not take on more work than you can carry or than you can do. What will help in this situation, maybe you are dealing with something that isn't yielding what you think you should get from the situation. I suspect, and I must explain this, otherwise this will probably not make any sense. From what I see here is that you're putting in a lot of effort, you're investing in something by means of work, and you're not getting what you need. You're not getting the payment, or you're not getting the compensation that you should be getting for your work. So what this tells me is do not put in more work. Set preparations to receive. Hold your ground. Do not give in. Be prepared for people challenging you, possibly attacking you for wanting compensation for your work, but do not look for other horizons. Do not move away from this situation. You have built up some credit in this situation, and that is what you should address, and that is what you should defend. That is very strongly what I get from here. Of course, you get the feeling that this is not working out for you, you're not getting what you deserve, and that makes you tend to look to new opportunities or new horizons. But these cards tell me no. Just stop working, or working at all, or stop working so hard, and fully dedicate yourself to receiving what you deserve for the work that you've already put in. What you need is financial compensation. It's very clear. And you also maybe take things a bit heavier than they are. Maybe you should look at this as a bit of an adventure and try, to see what strings you need to pull in order to get what you need. This to me tells me that you need a bit more of a playful approach. This is also about learning. Probably you need to learn that sometimes rewards don't come automatically, and you need to kind of pull a few strings in order to get it. The reason I come up with these strings is because you can see all these pentacles are hanging from strings, and you just need to pull them. You need possibly people take your work for granted, and you need to make them aware that it is work, but don't take it too heavy. Don't take it as a personal offense, but look at it as a new adventure that you're starting. And as with every adventure, you need to learn certain things, and the only way to learn is to make mistakes, to fall sometimes in order to know what not to do. The outcome of the situation may not be as you desire. You may not get as much as you want. You may not get what you want. Like I said, this is about learning. I find it a bit sad that this card pops up, because you deserve very much the abundance that you are looking for. So maybe and I feel this has a bit to do with this card as well. Maybe you invested too much emotionally, and therefore if things don't go exactly as you wish them to go, you might feel a bit disappointed. But again, an adventure does only happen if things do not go as planned. Try to look at it as an adventure, and that will mostly diminish this feeling of disappointment, because I feel that this card also tells me that you are very emotionally invested. For example, you might think that the fact that you're not getting the rewards that you're looking for, that means that you as a person are not okay, or your work isn't good enough. So you take it very much as an offense to yourself. And this tells me that this feeling comes from that. And this adventure card tells me that you might ease this feeling a bit if you look at it as a challenge, an adventure to learn how to deal with this situation. Once you get the hang of it, and you probably fail a couple of times, but every success is preceded by failure. It's inevitable. You can only learn through failure, to making mistakes. And you will be able to get some recompense, probably just not the way you expected it to be. It may even open up new opportunities for new adventures. But you must stay strong in your conviction that you really deserve compensation. Just figure out how to pull the right strings to get what you want. And sometimes they don't get you what you want, but that is the adventure of things. To me, this feels very much like someone who's an entrepreneur, who's just beginning and trying to figure out certain things. How do I get the right balance between investing work and energy and receiving abundance? How do I take my stand without coming off as too aggressive? It's an adventure that you did start, and you really need to tap into that feeling of adventure, and not give up on the investments that you've already made, because then you would be leaving behind these young saplings, and then you will never be around to harvest the fruits when they bear fruit. So it is a tricky balance, and there's not really a canned solution for this situation. It is about feeling your way through this situation, using a sense of adventure that you have inside you. And yes, sometimes disappointments are just not avoidable. But this card tells me to stand strong in your conviction and defend yourself. You really deserve recompense and compensation, I should say. And it is an adventure. Don't take it too hard. Don't take it as a personal offense, because that is what makes you feel this way. And then you can easily get into this spiral of negative thinking, and that will not get you anywhere, especially not where you want to be. So try to let this be as much as it is. Don't invest in this type of emotion. Just accept the fact that things, to go into this card a bit more, you've lost 3 cups, but you didn't lose everything. There's still 2 cups, and all you need to do is turn around to see what you still have. So it's not all bad, because this card represents a feeling that is usually not justified by the situation. So like I said, don't take it too personal if things don't really go the way you want them to go or you planned them to go, because life is an adventure and things go different than you want them to go. But there are a couple of things that you really need to take stand in, and you will get what you deserve eventually. But don't get absorbed in the feeling of they don't want to pay me, I'm not worth anything, because you should turn around and see what you still have. So there are things that you still have that are worth investing in, but do not overly invest in, there's this pitfall that you think, I gave some and I didn't get paid, so maybe I need to give a little more, and then you still don't get paid, and then you think, no, maybe I should give a little more. And that is a pitfall that you get into, because you keep on giving and the other party is thinking, wow, I'm getting all this for free. How nice. Let me stick around to see what else I can get for free. So then you can get into the situation where you keep on giving without getting anything in return. So there is a point that you have to say, now look, I've given you all this. Don't you think it's time that you should do something in return or give something in return? Because I cannot be doing this for free. I got bills to pay, So don't take it personally. That will take the load off the situation. Look at it as a bit of a training course, a bit of an adventure, but stand your ground when it comes to deserving some kind of compensation and abundance in your life. So I hope I explained this thoroughly enough for you. So if you like this video, please leave a like, share and comment. You can also become a patron and get access to an exclusive Facebook group and exclusive material and a discount on my personal readings. For a personal reading, you can contact me. My email is in the description box below. If you don't want that but like to see more of my videos, you can subscribe and click the bell icon to get notified whenever I upload a new video. I wish you an amazing day. Be blessed. Bye! Now, for those of you who chose the black andara, this is going to be your reading. I will be preparing the reading for you. So these are the cards for your reading. I will turn over the cards and then explain what is what position means what. We find the Chariot and magnificent visions. I believe that is a way to translate it. I find this difficult to translate. Sparkling visions, maybe even. I don't know. So there's something amazing visions and this Chariot. And we find the Six of Swords. We find the Hanged Man. I had to think. And we find the Nine of Cups. We find Death and Celebrate the Differences. Curious. And we find the Moon. Now, let me first explain the positions. These cards are about what you should do, and this is what you should not do. This is a mostly external situation that might help you. However, this doesn't seem very external. It can be anyway. And we find what challenges may be in your way, the Nine of Cups. And the resources are depicted by these two cards. The resources that you need to resolve this problem and the outcome of your problem if you take every advice that is in this reading. Now, the advice what to do is you have a vision, or you should get a very clear vision. Both cards hint to the same thing. The Chariot is about willpower, but in order to steer a chariot, especially if you have unruly horses, these horses are usually representative of impulses or desires or emotions, thoughts, desires, wants. So you can have conflicting desires and wants, like I want to go on a holiday but I don't want to leave the house. Things like that. So there can be a conflict, and if there's a conflict, there's stagnation. So you're not going anywhere. So in order to go anywhere, you need to have a very clear vision of what you want to do or what your goal is. And once you have that goal, you can assert your inner impulses in order to align them to that goal. And then you can go somewhere. Then you find that you're moving ahead because you have a clear goal and you know how to adjust yourself, your inner impulses and desires to reach that goal. So this is something that you need to figure out on your own. You need to have a very clear vision, and you need to do some introspective work to look inside yourself and to see what are conflicting desires or impulses that I have, and how can I get them to work together in order to reach my goal. That is the first thing. The second thing, what you should not be doing is leave the situation. Don't flee from this situation. It seems that you want to get out of this situation. It doesn't feel comfortable. Now I can tell you up front that growing never feels comfortable. So you are in a situation that offers you the chance and the challenge to grow. And you don't grow by running away from certain things. So these two are related. Maybe for whatever reason you are refusing to do introspective work, and maybe that scares you a bit, and maybe you want to run away from that introspective work that you need to do in order to get your vision concrete. So don't run from introspective work, don't run from taking responsibility for your own impulses and desires, but rather use them to your advantage. Don't run from it. I feel that this is your go-to strategy. If things are getting a bit too hairy for you, you tend to want to escape the situation. You know what? Never mind. I'll do just something entirely different. No, that's too difficult. I don't want to face that. Let's move on to something else. That is your strategy, but it tells me that this is kind of frustrating your growth. Now I come to this card, the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man can mean two things. Either it means that you willingly sacrifice some things in your life in order to get deep spiritual insights. But it can also mean that the situation itself is stagnant. Now, I can see both interpretations of this card working in this reading, because this is again about introspection, about putting your life on a hold to look inside yourself and to see, where am I going? Where do I want to go? And am I going in that right direction? It also ties into this card. Not running away from your situations. Furthermore, this person is pretty much tied to the situation. He's not going anywhere. So this means possibly that you cannot even escape this situation. You can only escape a situation so many times until it becomes so prevalent, so inescapable, so inevitable that you have to address it, you have to confront it. And that means that you must sacrifice some things in order to deal with this inner aspect. Let me explain this further. You cannot go fully for a successful career if you don't have your own ambitions in order. And in order to get your ambitions clear so that you can pursue this career, you need to do some introspective work. You really need to look inside yourself and to see what motivates me, what are my desires, what are my talents, what are my weak points. And you need to use these insights in order to get a successful career. If you don't do that, you cannot have this successful career. So in order to find these insights, you must take the time. You must kind of put your life on hold for a moment. Stop harvesting those weeds that you see in the back of this card. Stop harvesting. Are you harvesting the right thing? Is this definitely what you want or where you want to go? Take some time to look inside yourself. Don't run from it. And this card is the external situation in what challenges you. But to me, this card is also very much about an attitude that you have. You have the attitude of, you know what, I'm quite comfortable where I'm at. I don't really need to look inside myself in order to find wisdom. I can just either escape the situation and be totally fine with that. I don't really need to go somewhere. I don't have a goal and I don't need a goal. I'm fine where I'm at. That is an attitude that's not helping you. So you have a very avoiding personality, I would say, or you have you have developed a strategy of avoiding things when they become a bit difficult. Now the resources that you have, I find this quite curious. That is usually about the ending of a situation. I can hardly consider that a resource, but this card is about celebrating the differences, and that is about tolerance. a bit more than tolerance, actually. This appreciating that no one is the same, that one person is this way and the other person is that way. So that is a very tolerant and open-minded attitude that can help you. And I feel that I really have a bit of trouble with this situation, because this is an ending of something. This is running away from something and thus leaving something behind. This is also about stopping, taking a break, stop harvesting. So these three cards all have this innate feeling of ending something, stopping what you're doing, looking at the situation and see if you can approach it from a different perspective. That is what this card is about. Yes, it becomes clear. Whenever you avoid a life lesson, it comes back to you in a bit stronger, harsher version. And if you avoid something long enough, the lessons will become more harder, more difficult, and more definite each time around. And that is what this card is about. You can try to run away from certain things as long as you want, but eventually you will have to deal with it. It's in Dutch we have a saying. It's the dead or the flowers. I don't know what kind of flowers they are translated, but that is about something you can no longer avoid, and you just have to face it. You have to deal with it. And I think that is what this means. And only when you deal with this situation, it will cease to exist. But as long as you run away from it and think, you know what, I'm fine, I don't need to deal with this, it will be there until you face it, until you deal with it. The outcome, this is what you can learn from this situation. This is the moon, and the moon is about intuition, about finding your way in the dark, finding your way in the dream realm, finding your way in a spiritual, emotionally laden circumstance or environment where things may not always be as they seem. There's a chance for deception in this card, but it's also about navigating this realm. And how do you navigate something where things can change in a whim, like in a dream, or in the moonlight when things may have a very different appearance when you look at them in the daylight? So how do you navigate that? That is what you will learn if you begin to know yourself. Because that's what it all boils down to. You need to take a moment out of your life to learn to know yourself. And then you will be able to address this intuition. That is an amazing resource that will get you through almost any situation in life. And then you can leave behind this avoidant behavior entirely. And all you then are left with is wisdom, a sense of direction, a respect for the differences in each human being, because you have embodied both sides of it, either the not so willing to take responsible for my own development, and the okay, I gotta do it, I gotta face it aspect of personal development. And this knowledge, this wisdom, this intuition will get you through any situation, even when things are not clear. So that is what comes out of this reading. You can see very much the rewards, but also the things that you really need to take in account and stop doing. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you like this video, please leave a like, share and comment. You can also become a Patreon and get access to an exclusive Facebook group and exclusive material and a discount on my personal readings. For a personal reading, you can contact me. My email address is in the description box below. If you don't want that but like to see more of my videos, you can subscribe and click the bell icon to get notified whenever I upload a new video. I wish you an amazing day. Be blessed. Bye! Okay, and this will be the reading for those of you who chose the red andara. I'm trying to get that color standing out. Okay, I will be preparing your Okay, these are the cards for your reading. As I said in the beginning, I will not be addressing the problem, although I did do that in some of the other readings, to clarify the solutions. But let me turn over the cards and let me explain what is what for you. We find the Four of Swords and the card Be Spontaneous. We find the Hanged Man. We find the High Priestess. We find Justice. These are all major arcana, so there is something very large going on here. We find the Three of Cups and the card about laughter, and we find the last card, the Queen of Wands. Now let me explain the positions for you. This is the advice, what you should be doing. This is what you should not be doing. These are the aspects that will help you. And these are aspects that will be a challenge for you. These will be resources that you have to solve this problem. And this will be the probable outcome if you take into account all the advice from this reading. Now, if we go back to what you should be doing, we find the Four of Swords and a card that says Be Spontaneous. Now, the Four of Swords is about taking a rest, taking some time to recuperate. This usually follows a period of hectic, a lot of work, busyness, a lot of challenges, difficult times usually precede this card and this situation. And if you are under stress, you lose some of your spontaneity. You become a bit gritty, you become overly focused, you become overly rational. You usually tend to close your heart whenever you are under a lot of stress in order to survive the situation. Now this card, these two cards tell me that you should take a break. You should find some relaxation, find some time off where you're not obligated to do anything. You can just do nothing for days. You should take that time in order to regain your spontaneity. Take healing activities, sleep in late, take a warm bath with essential oils, take a long walk through nature, cuddle with your cat or your dog or your other pets, whatever you have around that you can cuddle them. Everything that you can do to get some clarity of mind, some peace of mind, and to be able to open your heart again for spontaneous actions and spontaneity in how you approach life itself. What you should not be doing is putting your life on hold. Taking a break doesn't mean that you should drop everything you're doing and not do anything anymore. You should not try to dive into this situation to sacrifice yourself or to be a martyr in this situation, because you're not helping yourself with that. You should take the time to recuperate. You should acknowledge that you need some rest and you need to recuperate, but don't present yourself as a martyr or the person who sacrificed everything, because that's way too dramatic, and that is a type of energy that you cannot use in this situation. You just want the things to quiet down and to give you some breathing room to go back to your normal spontaneous self. Now, the things that will help you, the High Priestess, that could be you, or that could be someone in your environment that is a spiritual guide for you, that has some knowledge of hidden knowledge or knowledge about the ways the universe work. And he or she can be an enormous support for you, or it can mean that you must tap into these abilities that you have yourself. Go back to your spirituality, go back to some meditation, some breathing techniques, still your mind, quiet your mind to get in touch with your intuition and the higher laws of the universe. Because like I said, when you're under stress, these are the things that you lose. These are the things that you close yourself off from. And that also needs to get flowing again. What challenges you is justice. I'm not quite sure how to interpret this card, because I usually think justice is a good thing. But maybe there's some dealings with law enforcement or court cases or anything where the judicial system is involved, that may take you away from this tranquility and spiritual being, and that might even evoke this feeling of feeling victimized or feeling punished somehow. It may even be that there is a court case that will be decided in your disadvantage, and these two cards, I feel that they're very strongly related. If you take the tarot in order of being, these cards are in this order. First you have justice, and then you have the Hanged Man. Traditionally, it means someone did something stupid or bad or broke a law and gets through this justice system and get penalized for it. So a situation of that kind may be going on in your life, and yeah, I think that is it. There's something that concerns the judicial system that is not working out in your benefit, and you can feel victimized, or you can accept the situation and try to recuperate. Take the time that you have to rest and to become your spontaneous self and to find some spiritual meaning to this situation, because these are the things that will help you. It will not help you to keep enforcing and strengthen this feeling of martyrship or being sacrificed, or that is, like I said, there's an energy that's not going to help you in this situation, and this is something that we cannot avoid. If the judge says something, whether he's right or not, you just have to accept it, and you can make a lot of fuss about it, like, oh, I'm victimized, and but that's not going to gain you any support at all. What will gain you support is become your own spontaneous self again, find spiritual meaning in this situation and recuperate from this, because whether the judge is right or wrong, it's always nasty if things turn out into your disadvantage, and you need to take some time to recuperate. But also, one of the resources that you have is you have good friends that support you. You have good friends that know how to cheer you up. You have good friends that you can share good times with, or either you have memories of good times with them. And in any way, I find that this card of laughter and this card of being spontaneous very much ties in to this card, because these friends are having fun and they're laughing, and everything they do is spontaneous because they're in a flow together. And that is the thing that you need. That is the biggest resource you have to get yourself out of this slum. And in the end, you will come out as a Queen of Wands. And the Queen of Wands is very spontaneous, very warm-hearted, very energetic, magnetic, attractive, intuitive, and creative. So that is who you really are, and no judge or no police officer or anyone who brought you to disadvantage in the judicial system ever knows this aspect of you. But this is your growth, this is your strength. And once you know that it doesn't matter what people or especially judges think of you, it matters what you think of you, what your best friends think of you, what your family thinks of you, and that you always have humor and fun and laughter that can lift you up out of this energy of sacrifice and martyrdom, martyrship or martyrdom, I'm not quite sure how to say it. And then you will be also very empathic as well, because you've been through these hardships. So you can more easily, probably even than before, relate to people's problems and issues, because you've had some of your own. And you know how difficult it can be sometimes to get yourself out of this victim mindset into your own empowerment. Because that's what this is all about, empowering yourself, and with the help of good friends, long life friends or very intimate friends, usually of the same sex as you, that can help you out of this. So if you feel that you've been wronged either by people or official government institutions like judges and courts and things like that, it's easy to fall victim to the victimhood mindset, but you have some very powerful positive things. You have your spontaneity, you have your intuition, your spirituality, you have very good friends and a lot of good times in your life that you can draw from in order to recuperate and become even better than you were before. So sometimes hardships are necessary to become aware of aspects of yourself that you didn't know you had. And it feels to me like this is one of those things, that sometimes you must be treated unfairly. And I know all about being treated unfairly, and I have been in this position myself, so I also know what this means and how it feels to be misunderstood by institutions that you count on. But it will turn out to become one of your strengths, and you will be able to be support for other people as well. And you learn how to deal with the situation creatively, because you really have that in yourself. You have this spirituality, you have spontaneity, which also ties in to this card very much, and to this card. So you got a lot of good things going for you, personality wise. So don't let any judge or official government institution tell you what they think that you lack or what you did wrong, whatever. You know better, and you will get there, as long as you don't fall victim to this sacrificial lamb idea, like I've sacrificed myself or I have been sacrificed, That's not helping you, and it's certainly not pushing you in the direction that you need to go. So, I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you like this video, please leave a like, share and comment. You can also become a Patreon and get access to an exclusive Facebook group and exclusive material and a discount on my personal readings. For a personal reading, you can contact me. My email address is in the description box below. If you don't want that but like to see more of my videos, you can subscribe and click the bell icon to get notified whenever I upload a new video. I wish you an amazing day. Be blessed. Bye.